Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alessandro. Thank you so much for being here today. I started the vlog a little bit differently today just because I wanted to see how I felt about like starting it with more of a montage-y kind of style of opening. But now I actually want to talk to you guys a little bit because I do have a lot of updates for you. So you've seen me read the Atlas 6 already, and while I'm doing that, I also want to read a bunch of other books right now. In my area that I live in, I actually have 3 different libraries and that I can go to, and I'm so incredibly grateful that I have 3 libraries at all in my area that I'm able to go to and rent books from. That being said, it makes it a little bit difficult when I have one book at one library I want, one book at another library, and in today's case, I have one book at each library that I want to go get. I know I didn't have to necessarily run around the entire day today, but I do work the next few days and won't be able to get to any libraries in the next few days. So I just wanted to take today and just make sure I had the time to get all the books I wanted so I had them for the next week or so. So I'm at library number 1 right now. I will show you guys each book that I'm getting from each place because it is a little bit different for each one. And I hope you guys will join me on this little adventure, and I will see you later. I don't know why it is whenever I start filming, the sun goes away. Okay, so I am back home now. I decided to skip the last library of the day today. I just didn't want to deal with the parking lot situation there. But I do have 3 books I want to show you guys that I want to talk about. Book number 1 you saw me pick up in the first clip from the library, and that is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I actually, from the library the other day, got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by the same author, but I wasn't really feeling it. I read the synopsis because I got it on a whim, and it just didn't seem super interesting to me. So I decided to pick this up because this sounded a little bit more darker, a little bit more fantastical, which is kind of what I've been reading lately. So basically this is about 2 college roommates named Victor and Eli who are brilliant and kind of a little bit arrogant and who kind of recognize these qualities in one another. And when their shared interest in like adrenaline, near-death experiences, this kind of research comes up with them in their senior year, like a research project it sounds like, they develop a thesis and some experiments, but they both go horribly wrong. This sounds really interesting, like kind of dark, fantastical kind of, and I just really want to read it. Like I said, I know I'm reading the Atlas 6 right now, but if I don't really love the Atlas 6, I will definitely switch to this, possibly. Speaking of the realm of dark fantasy, this isn't as dark as Vicious sounds, but this is actually the 2nd book in the Drowning Empire trilogy, and that is The Bone Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart. Now, I just finished The Bone Shard Daughter, which is the 1st book in this series, like 2 days ago, and it was really good. I gave it a 4 out of 5 star, and this is the 2nd book in the trilogy, and then the 3rd book, The Bone Shard War, comes out in April. Basically, this takes place in a world where the Emperor has been ruling this empire for over 100 years using the power of bone shard magic, which uses basically little fragments of bone to power animal-like constructs. So after the events of the 1st book, I'm not going to talk about it right now, it's be too many spoilers, but basically the 1st book and the events, all the characters, the multiple point of views all collide together in the 1st book, and then they set up the events for this book as well. I'm not sure if I want to read this right now because this is over 500 pages and it's a bit of a commitment for me. I'm trying to read shorter books right now because I don't want to get put in a reading slump, and also I don't have the 3rd book yet because the 3rd book doesn't come out till April, so I don't want to get like put in a slump from like reading this and then having to wait till April for the 3rd one. So I think what the plan is going to be is I'm going to read this maybe like in March or something, but I do have this from the library, so I'm not sure how long I can hold on to it. The last book I'm going to talk about is actually The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. This is more up the YA fantasy, I think maybe not even YA, more like middle grade range. One of the booktubers that I like to watch on this platform named Sunny Kim Reads recommended this book in one of her recommendation videos, and it just sounds really interesting. It has to do with time-traveling magicians, and that just sounds really interesting to me. So I think this also might be a contender for a book that I want to pick up after I finish the Atlas 6, or in the event that I decide to DNF the Atlas 6. To speak about the Atlas 6 now a little bit, now that I'm done with the library haul, it's pretty good so far. I feel like not a lot has happened. I'm about 50 pages in at the time I'm talking to you guys. We've met pretty much all the characters, I think all the characters, and they all seem pretty unique. I already forget their names. I know there's like Tristan, I know there's Libby, I know there's some other ones. The one that can read minds, I forget her name, but she's the most interesting one so far, and I really want to see how she develops her talents in this book, and if she's the one, like, maybe she'll be like the one that gets left out of the Alexandrian society. Again, for those of you who don't know, the Atlas Six is about 6 magicians taken from the real world by this guy, and they're basically put to the test to see if they can become initiates and part of the Alexandrian society, but only 5 of them will actually get into the society in the end. I know this book is very popular, I just don't know that much about it otherwise. I haven't been spoiled for any of it so far, which is really good. And I know there's a second book out called The Atlas Paradox, and I haven't read anything about that. I'm trying to avoid spoilers at all costs. So I'm gonna get back into reading the Atlas 6 now after I do some cleaning, and I will catch up with you guys later. All right, hello everyone. I am back from the library now. I was getting some work done this morning and I'm getting some reading done as well. I'm currently working on a secret project that I cannot tell you guys about quite yet, but I really hope I'll be able to tell you about it soon. But I got some work on that done, I got some reading done, and I also got some Japanese studying done. Like I said in a previous video, I think it was my goals for 2023 video, which I'll leave linked somewhere up here. I said I wanted to do more content related to Japanese language learning and language learning in general on this channel because that is something that is a very big part of my life and my job. So I hope to have videos related to that coming very soon. In other news though, I do have some unfortunate news in that I think I have to take a pause on reading The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I'm about 120 or so pages into the book right now, and I'm just like not jiving with it. I think it's not that it's a bad book, nor is it that the writing is not good. I think the writing is actually really good and very academic, and the premise is very interesting, and the characters are super interesting. But I think the biggest thing that's holding it back for me right now is that I'm just not in the mood to read any more dark academia. I also kind of don't get what's happening with like the physical magic system of this book. So for those of you who don't know, again, The Atlas 6 is about 6 magicians recruited for an initiation into the Alexandrian society, but only 5 will pass the initiation and enter into the society for an additional, I guess, year of study. And 2 of the magicians, named Libby and Nico, have like control over the physical elements. And this is kind of like a minor spoiler, so if you just don't want to listen to this, skip like a minute ahead, but I don't think it will be. But basically there's like one combat sequence where Libby and Nico fight some intruders of the house they're staying in, and I was like reading it and I was like, I don't know what the heck is happening right now. Like, I don't get how they're manipulating this. It just seemed very, it seemed like Olivia Blake was like expecting you to get it right away, and I just didn't. I'm like, am I stupid? Like, am I just not getting it? I don't know what's wrong. But I just am like a little bit confused, and I'm like, the book is moving pretty slowly for me, to be honest. Like I said, I think I fall into this trap before where I read books and about 100 pages in, if there's nothing really happening, I'm not going to want to continue reading. And I think combined with that, and I'm just, again, with my previous goal of not wanting to force myself to read books that I'm not enjoying, because I think it would take me a really long time, for me at least, to finish The Atlas 6. I'm guessing another 2 weeks minimum because I'm reading it so slowly. So for that reason, I'm not even going to say DNF, but I'm going to say I'm going to put it on pause for now because I really need something lighter, funnier. I just feel like I need maybe like a romance book in my life. So for that reason right now, I'm going to hit pause on The Atlas 6, and I'm going to pick up another book that is on my 2023 TBR, and that is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. I've been hearing a lot of really good things about this book lately, and I really want to get into it because I'm like, I want to, kind of like with The Atlas 6, I kind of want to know what all the hype is about. So to read you a little bit of the back, we're basically following a woman named Stella Lane who thinks that, quote unquote, math is the only thing that unites the universe. She sounds like she's a very job-oriented academic person who doesn't have a lot of experience with dating. She also has Asperger's, which it sounds like makes it harder for her to date as well. So she decides one day that she's like, I need practice, I need experience, I need practice for this dating thing. So I'm gonna hire an escort to help basically teach me how to date. And this escort, whose name is Michael, it sounds like he's in a position where he can't really afford to turn down an offer like this, so he does end up taking Stella up on the offer. And I guess before long, they develop a relationship that's closer than just a fake dating business relationship, and they end up falling in love. And overall, I'm just really excited to read it. I haven't really read a romance book that I really truly enjoyed since I think October or November. I didn't really talk about it towards the end of the year in my videos because I was sick and starting a new job, but I did end up reading the Bromance Book Club by, I think it's Lyssa Kay Adams, in December, and then I read Icebreaker, the ever so popular Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, in November. Long story short, I didn't enjoy either of those books, and I really didn't like Icebreaker, and I know I'm gonna get slandered in the comments for this because I know that book is everywhere and everyone's loving it. I personally didn't like it. I can see why people like it. I see why people like it, and I see what it was doing, and I think there are other books that do it better. All I'm gonna say on that for now, go ahead and slander me in the comments if you so desire, but I will fight back. No, I'm kidding. So I'm really just looking for a romance book that really just like kind of reignites that butterflies in my stomach feeling, because I didn't really get that with the Bromance Book Club. I really didn't get that with Icebreaker. So I'm really hoping this book proves to be exciting and funny and romantic, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. So I think with that being said, I'm gonna head out of here and I'm going to start reading it for a little bit, and I will give you guys another update probably towards the end of the video with my thoughts on the Kiss Quotient so far. Hello everyone, and welcome to the final update of the vlog. I unfortunately wish I could come bearing better news for this vlog, but I unfortunately have more bad news. At least in my case it is bad news. So you just saw a little bit of me reading The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, and I just have to say again, I'm having the same problem I'm having with the Atlas 6, is where I'm about a quarter of the way through it and I just don't want to continue with it. It's not that the book itself is not good, I just think the writing, again, just like the Atlas 6, it's just not for me. The plot also it's kind of feeling insta-lovey a little bit, especially from their first initiation. I thought there would be a little bit more setup. In conclusion, I'm just not having a good time reading it right now, and I think I need to, again, take a pause, not a DNF, but just a pause and go read something else. But that kind of brings me to my next point about DNFing books and taking pauses on books in the booktube community. I'm about to enter into a rant that absolutely nobody asked for, so if you don't want to hear my rant on DNFing / taking pauses on books you don't like, feel free to skip ahead to the outro where I'll give you some closing remarks. But if you do like to hear a little bit of a rant, here goes my rant on DNFing books. I don't know if I'm the only person who feels this, but I feel personally a lot of guilt around DNFing books, especially books that are really popular or beloved by other people, or at least the majority of other people. And this has happened a couple of times in the past where I felt guilty about not wanting to finish a book, so I really pushed through and finished the book, but then end up giving it a low rating. I think a extremely good example of this, like I talked about earlier, is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. About halfway through that book, I knew I wasn't gonna like it, and I continued to read it because I was like, I have to do it. At the time I was actually filming it, documenting my progress for a video, and that video never got uploaded because I didn't like either book I read. And as part of my resolution for this year to not force myself to read books that I'm not into, not spend lots of time on books that I'm not into, I think for that reason, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna put the Kiss Quotient and the Atlas 6 aside for now. I might come back to them one day, I'm not sure, but to avoid putting myself in a reading slump that I feel already oncoming, I'm going to take a pause on both books. So for those of you watching, if you are in the middle of a book, or you're just starting a book, or wherever you are in a book, and you're just like, I'm not enjoying it, I'm not liking it, I don't want to be reading it is taking a lot of energy, it's not giving me any energy, take this as a sign from me, just put the book down, take a break, go read something else. Or don't read anything, which is what I think I'm gonna do, and which is why I'm a little disappointed about ending the vlog this way, is I really wanted to have this vlog be a productive vlog where I got like at least 2 books done so I could keep up with like just reading and getting through the books I want to read this year, because there are so many books I want to read this year that are on my 2023 TBR, and it just keeps growing every day. But I think, again, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. I'm just gonna say these books weren't for me right now. I'm actually gonna take a small break from reading, and probably for a few days, edit this video, make sure I get some other stuff done, because I do have some exciting projects coming that I can share with you guys very soon, hopefully. Barring like anything catastrophic happening in my life, I should be able to share with you some cool things in the coming weeks. So just keep your eye out for that. So again, if you're reading that book and you're just like, I don't like it, I'm not enjoying it, I don't want to finish it, it's going to take me a long time to finish it, put it down, do something else. Don't put yourself in a reading slump over a book that is not going to really fulfill and satisfy you. So, but that is all I have for this video, I think. As always, if you guys have made it to this point, thank you so much for checking out the video. It really means a lot to me. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single upload from me. I'm trying to adapt this new schedule of basically uploading every 2 weeks because that's what my schedule allows right now. I would in the future like to get to weekly uploads, but I'm not in a place where I can actually upload on a weekly base right now. I just don't have the time or energy. I also just don't read that fast. I can't pump out content that fast. So right now, I would say expect content from me on Fridays, basically every 2 weeks. So if this comes up this Friday for you when it's uploaded, from 2 weeks from now, there should be another video uploaded. I also really want to do, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in this video or not, but I really want to do a 24-hour readathon one of these days. So that might be my next video. So again, keep your eyes out for that. Make sure you keep an eye on this channel for that coming soon. And hopefully by then I will be out of a reading slump that I feel like I'm coming on to, and that I'll have books to pick out and that I'll be really excited to read. But without further ado, again, I've been rambling for way too long already. Thank you guys so much for checking out today's video. My name is Alessandro, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!